Let's go to Douglas Marshall, who is the Selwyn Principal Rural Fire Officer. He joins us on the phone now. Douglas, are you there?
Good evening, John.
Good evening. This is heartbreaking stuff, isn't it? Because that pilot was doing amazing work from what we understand with that monsoon bucket, and it's been making such a difference, the work the helicopters have been doing, hasn't it?
No, it's just an absolute tragedy. Firefighting, doesn't matter what it is risky work, and heart goes out to the family and the company. It's just a tragedy. And as Lane was saying before, we certainly allowed the other operators the time they need, and some have chosen to get back in the air and continue the battle, which I'm probably sure their colleague would want them, and others correctly have stood down. It's just very difficult.
Can we talk about the battle? Can we broaden out to discuss the fires themselves? How are you going? Because they are across a large area now. They've been fanned off and on by gusty nor'westers. They've been changing direction. It's dry there. How are you going fighting them?
Look, the fire has been quite an extraordinary one in terms of, it's very visible. People have been able to basically stand on the road and watch the action today. The firefighters in the air have been the main attack today. They've done an extraordinary job to knock down. We've burnt out an area of approximately 600 hectares, and we've had our land base crews following up and doing very sterling work on structure protection.
Can you tell us where that is? It's sort of southwest of the city, south of the city. Whereabouts is the main area?
So if you drive out of Horswell and you're heading south on the way to Akaroa, you come to an area between Horswell and Taitapu, which is sort of known as Lansdowne on Old Taitapu Road. So it's an area there burnt out of just under 600 hectares, and then a further area up on Marley Hill of about 35 hectares in a separate fire. So both fires haven't quite joined together. We've worked really hard today to make sure they don't join together so we don't have a bigger problem. Yes,
that would have been a real disaster had they joined together. We're hearing amazing stories from the people we've spoken to, and we'll play some of those interviews coming up on Checkpoint, of fires coming very, very close to homes and then being beaten away at the last work by the work of the men and women you've got at the scene there. You must be very proud of the work they're doing.
Some extraordinary saves last night. It's obviously firefighting at night is something you don't like to do because obvious risk. Splendid job done before nightfall to protect a number of houses, as you've obviously heard, and then splendid work again done in the small hours when the fire moved in a direction unexpected, but good understanding of risk and taking and protecting structures, and it's very, very impressed with what people have done today.
Yeah, Douglas, I know you've got to go, but a couple more questions. Firstly, a lot of the people doing this work are volunteers, and we need to remember that, don't we? Because they are doing sterling work.
Yeah, absolutely, but it is a huge combination. We've got, volunteers from a number of brigades within the Selwyn district, but also New Zealand Fire Service, paid crews, Selwyn District Council rural crews, dock crews, Christchurch City Council crews, Environment Canterbury crews. But the real big thing today, we've had the what's called a regional incident management team overlooking both fires because of the size. We've had staff from down in South Canterbury join us today in specialist roles right up into North Canterbury. So these big fires bring together people of expertise to do a job to protect the community.
Yeah, they sure do.
Incredibly grateful.
One final question. You could do without the nor'wester and you could do with some rain. What's the forecast looking like?
There's not much rain coming in the next wee while. I mean, I've got to plea out to people that particularly, there is a restricted fire season in Selwyn District. There's a prohibited season in Christchurch City, which is on the boundary here. One of these fires, was in the Christchurch City Council area. Certainly no fires in Christchurch. That's the way it is at the moment. And I just ask, particularly stubble burns, really would love them to hold off just for a few days, just to buy us a bit of time while we sort this fire out.
Douglas Marshall, Selwyn Principal Rural Fire Officer. Thanks, Douglas. Lovely to talk to you.